Once there lived a girl named Arohi. One day she came to visit her grandmother during her summer holidays. She used to play with her grandmother all the time. One day she said to her grandmother, "Grandma, when I grow up, I want to become a successful woman. Can you tell me some ways to be successful?" Grandma nodded in yes and took Arohi with her to a nearby nursery. From nursery, her grandmother bought two small plants and came back home. Then she planted one plant in a pot and kept it inside the house and planted other plant outside the house. "What do you think? Which of these two plants will grow better in future?" Grandmother asked her granddaughter. Arohi kept thinking for some time and then said, "Obviously, plant inside the house will grow better because it is safe from every danger, while plant outside is at risk of many things like strong sunlight, storm, rain, and animals." Grandmother smiled and said, "Let's see what happens in future." After that, Arohi left from there. After 4 years, she came back to visit her grandmother again. When she saw her grandmother, she asked her, "Grandma, last time I asked you a question, how to be successful in life, but you didn't tell me anything. But this time, you have to tell me." Grandmother smiled and said, "Sure, but first, let's take a look at the plants that we bought few years back." Saying this, grandmother took her granddaughter to the place where she had planted the small plants in a pot. They saw that the small plant had turned into a big plant. Then she took Arohi to look at the plant which they had planted outside. They saw that a big tree had grown out of a small plant. Its branches spread far and wide, providing shade to passerby. Now grandmother looked at her granddaughter and asked, "Tell me, which plant grew more? Which is more successful?" Arohi replied, "The one we planted outside." "But grandma, how is this possible? The plant must have faced so many dangers. Still, it grew so big." Grandmother smiled and said, "Yes, plant outside had to face many things, but dealing with problems had its benefit too. Plant outside had freedom to spread its roots as much as it wanted. Problems like storms, heavy rain made its roots stronger. Today it is so strong that a small problem cannot cause any harm to it, while the plant we planted inside remained small, and it is weak too because it didn't withstand the heavy storm, rain, and strong sunlight." Then grandmother looked at her granddaughter and said, "My daughter, always remember that unless you struggle in life, unless you go through difficulties, you too will not be able to achieve success in your life. If you will make comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as you can. And if you are ready to struggle and go through difficulties, then no goal is impossible for you to achieve. Therefore, never think of problems as hurdles, but think of them as opportunities towards success." Arohi took a long breath and started looking at the tree. The words of her grandmother were echoing in her mind. Obstacles which we consider as enemies in our life make us stronger and more successful in our life. If we see in our lives, then we will find that often in our lives we have to face challenges and difficulties, due to which many times we get disappointed and lose the courage to move forward. But this story teaches us not to be intimidated by challenges, but to embrace them as an opportunity to learn and grow.